Welcome, dear viewers, to the English Journey. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey where we learn English through powerful and emotional life stories. If you are here to improve your English, understand history, build your vocabulary, or find motivation for your personal life, then you are in the right place. Our goal is simple. We want to help you learn English in an easy, enjoyable, and meaningful way. We do this by sharing the stories of extraordinary people who changed the world with their courage, values, and strength. Today, we bring you a story full of courage, sacrifice, pain, strength, and deep moral lessons, the life story of Maharathi Karna, one of the greatest warriors of the Mahabharata. Karna's life teaches us the true meaning of dignity, self-respect, generosity, and unbreakable determination. His journey shows us that greatness does not always come from comfort, wealth, or high birth. Sometimes, greatness is born from struggle, rejection, and loneliness. Karna is the perfect example of how a person with nothing can still become unforgettable. As you listen to this story, you will not only learn about Karna's legendary life, but you will also learn simple English expressions, motivational thoughts, and life values. These lessons can guide you toward confidence, clarity, and personal growth. This story will help improve your listening, understanding, and spoken English, while taking you on an emotional journey of a true hero. So sit back, relax, and open your heart as we begin the powerful story of a warrior who rose against destiny and became a shining star in Indian history. Karna grew up in the humble home of Adhiratha, a charioteer, and his wife Radha. They loved Karna more than their own lives. They raised him with care, kindness, and deep affection. To them, Karna was not adopted, he was their own son. But deep inside Karna's heart, there was always a quiet storm. He felt different. He felt a strong pull, as if he was born for something greater than the life of a charioteer's son. He could not explain it, but his soul knew it. Every evening, when the sun slowly sank into the horizon, Karna would stand alone and watch the golden sky. The light of the sunset felt familiar to him. The warmth of the sun touched his face like a blessing, as if it was silently telling him, "You are meant for great things." But society was not kind to Karna. People mocked him and said, "You are just a Suraputra. How can you dream of becoming a warrior?" Their words were sharp and painful. Yet Karna did not allow their insults to break his spirit. Instead, every insult made his resolve stronger. He trained in secret. With a simple wooden bow, he fought imaginary battles. He practiced day and night, under the burning sun, under the cold sky, even when his hands were tired and trembling. He listened to his heartbeat and believed that destiny was calling him. Slowly, his skills became powerful and precise. His arrows flew with perfect aim. Even experienced warriors were shocked by his talent. And with every arrow he released, Karna's heart spoke one truth. "I was born to be a warrior." And slowly, destiny began opening its doors. But there was still one problem. To become a true warrior, Karna needed a guru. And the greatest guru of that time was Dronacharya, the royal teacher of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Karna approached him with hope in his eyes, carrying nothing but dreams and determination. But Dronacharya refused to teach him, only because Karna was not a Kshatriya. That rejection cut Karna deeply. It felt like someone had shut the doors of the world in his face. Yet instead of stopping, he chose a harder path. Something inside him whispered every day, "A warrior is not born by caste. He is made by courage." And so Karna decided to do the impossible. He went in search of the only person who could make him truly unstoppable. He traveled far and wide, facing many obstacles. He crossed rivers, climbed hills, and endured hunger and exhaustion, but his spirit never broke. Every challenge strengthened his heart and mind. Along the way, he learned important lessons about life, patience, resilience, and the value of self-belief. People who met him were amazed at his focus and determination. Karna's journey shows us one important truth: when you truly believe in yourself, no obstacle can stop you. Even the world's rejection cannot defeat a determined heart. He was not just chasing knowledge or skill, he was chasing his destiny and nothing could stand in his way. Karna walked for days under the burning sun, his feet bruised, his throat dry but his determination unshaken. He rested under trees, drank from rivers and slept on cold ground. But his heart carried only one fire, the dream of becoming the greatest archer the world had ever seen. He knew that for such greatness he needed the blessings of Lord Parashurama, the fierce Brahmin warrior and master of all divine weapons. But Parashurama was known to accept only Brahmins as his students. Still, Karna did not turn back. He believed that destiny favored the brave. With every step he reminded himself, no matter what, I will reach him. No obstacle can stop me. When Karna finally reached Parashurama's ashram, he bowed deeply and said, Master, I want to learn the secrets of every weapon. I want to become a warrior worthy of your teaching. Parashurama looked at him carefully. Karna's body was rough, his clothes were simple but his eyes carried fire. The fire of destiny. Parashurama asked, What is your lineage, child? Karna knew the truth would close all doors forever. So with a heavy heart he whispered, I am a Brahmin. Parashurama accepted him. From that moment, Karna trained like no other disciple. Before sunrise, he practiced shooting arrows into the heart of darkness. By day, he lifted heavy bows and mastered impossible techniques. By night, he meditated with intense focus, understanding the deeper secrets of astras. He mastered the Brahmastra, the Agnayastra, the Varunastra, and many more weapons known only to the gods. His arrows could cut through wind, pierce through stone, and silence even the loudest storms. Parashurama began to believe that Karna was not just a warrior. He was the future of warfare. But destiny never lets Karna rest for long. One afternoon, Parashurama lay with his head in Karna's lap. As the master slept, a deadly insect burrowed deep into Karna's thigh. The pain was unbearable. Blood dripped slowly, staining the earth. Flesh tore. Yet Karna didn't move. He didn't flinch. He didn't cry out. He didn't want to disturb his guru's sleep. When Parashurama woke up, he saw the wound and understood the truth. No Brahmin can tolerate such pain, he said, his voice trembling with anger and sorrow. You lied to me, Karna. Karna fell to his knees. Tears flowed down his face as he cried. Forgive me, master. I only wanted knowledge. Nothing else. Parashurama's heart softened, but destiny demanded a price. He cursed Karna that the knowledge of the divine weapons would fail him at the moment he needed it most. Karna accepted the curse silently, with dignity, with strength, with the calm of a true hero. Because he knew. A true warrior doesn't run from fate. He stands. He fights. He falls, he rises again. He carries hope in his heart, courage in his hands, and the unshakable belief that one day, his name will echo across the world. Meet Karna and Duryodhana. Humiliation is a deep wound, and Karna had tasted it many times. On the day he first displayed his extraordinary archery skills in Hastinapur, the entire arena gasped. People whispered, he shoots like Arjuna. Maybe even better. But the moment Karna stepped forward to challenge Arjuna openly, everyone's eyes turned cold. He is a charioteer's son. How can he compete with a prince? Those words cut deeper than any weapon. Karna stood alone. No royal family. No high birth. Just a warrior with unmatched talent and a heart burning for respect. And then, destiny sent him Duryodhana. Duryodhana rose from his throne, walked towards Karna, and placed a hand on his shoulder. With a loud voice that echoed across the arena, he declared, From today, Karna is the king of Anga. Birth does not make a warrior, courage does. The crowd fell silent. Karna's eyes filled with tears, not of weakness but of gratitude. No one had ever stood for him like this. No one had ever seen his worth. That moment forged a bond stronger than steel. Karna folded his hands and said, Duryodhana, today you gave me a life. I will give you my loyalty till my last breath. And he meant every word. From that day onward, Karna became Duryodhana's greatest strength. Not because Duryodhana made him a king, but because he gave Karna something he had never received: respect, dignity, brotherhood. While the world mocked Karna's birth, Duryodhana saw only his brilliance. While others compared him to Arjuna, Duryodhana believed he could surpass him. Together they walked into destiny, one driven by ambition, the other by gratitude. But this friendship also dragged Karna into the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where love, duty, curses, and fate would tear his heart apart. Even in moments of doubt, Karna never wavered. He trained harder, fought stronger, and never let anger guide him. He carried the weight of respect, loyalty, and dreams all in one heart. Karna vs Arjuna, a rivalry written by destiny. From the day Karna picked up a bow, destiny had already chosen his greatest rival, Arjuna. Two warriors equal in skill, equal in passion, equal in courage. Yet divided by fate, by birth, and by the different roads life forced them to walk. Arjuna had everything: a royal teacher, royal training, royal respect. Every door opened for him because he was a prince of Hastinapur. Karna had nothing. No lineage, no guidance, no acceptance. Every door closed on him because the world believed he was the son of a charioteer. But it was this nothing that made Karna unstoppable. Every time Arjuna won praise, Karna pushed himself harder. Every time someone called Arjuna the greatest, Karna's heart burned with determination. And every time the world said Arjuna was unbeatable, Karna whispered to himself, "Then I will become the one who defeats the unbeatable." Their rivalry was never born from hatred. It was born from destiny. The clash of two stars meant to meet in one final explosion. Arjuna was guided by Krishna, the Lord of Knowledge. Karna was guided by Duryodhana, the only man who gave him honor when the world rejected him. Arjuna fought for truth and dharma. Karna fought for gratitude and friendship. Both were right in their own way. Both were wrong in their own way. When Karna lifted the legendary Vijaya bow, the earth trembled as if saluting him. When Arjuna released his divine arrows, even the gods paused to admire his brilliance. People across ages knew one truth: one day these two mighty warriors would stand face to face, and only one of them would walk away alive. That moment came in Kurukshetra, the battlefield where destinies collided, where friendships broke, where loyalty was tested, and where truths were revealed too late. Arjuna fought without knowing he was fighting his own elder brother. Karna fought knowing the entire truth, yet he never stepped back. Because his life was built on one principle: loyalty above everything, even above my own life. Their arrows met in the sky like crashing thunder. The air shook. The battlefield lit up with fire. Even gods whispered among themselves, "These two are not just warriors. They are destiny itself." And in that moment, every story of bravery, every tear of struggle, every sacrifice of the heart came alive. Karna's curses. Even the greatest heroes carry wounds the world cannot see. For Karna, those wounds came in the form of curses, silent shadows that followed him until his final breath. 1. The curse of the Brahmin, the cow incident. One day, Karna was practicing archery when a cow accidentally ran into his line of fire. The arrow struck and the cow died. Its owner, a grieving Brahmin, cried, "You killed an innocent creature. Just as this cow died helpless, your chariot wheel will one day sink into the earth, and you too will stand helpless." Karna bowed his head and accepted the curse, not knowing those words would decide his final battle. 2. The curse of Parashurama. Karna trained under Parashurama by hiding his true identity as a charioteer's son. The great sage believed Karna was a Brahmin. One afternoon, while Parashurama rested with his head on Karna's lap, a deadly insect bit Karna's thigh. Blood flowed, pain tore through him. But Karna did not move. He let the insect bite deeper, just to avoid disturbing his teacher. When Parashurama woke and saw the blood, he realized, only a Kshatriya can tolerate such pain. "You lied to me." And he cursed, "When you need my teachings the most, your knowledge of weapons will slip from your mind." That moment broke Karna's heart more than any wound ever could. 3. The curse of earth, the abandoned son. From birth, Karna was abandoned by Kunti and placed in a basket on the river. The earth goddess herself raised him. But she too felt betrayed when Karna used her gifts to fight the Pandavas. So she whispered, "In your greatest battle, the earth will claim what is hers, and the ground beneath his chariot would one day prove her words true." For the curse of fate and life's hardships, life itself seemed to conspire against Karna. He was born with greatness but denied respect. Kings ignored him, friends doubted him, and even his own family was unaware of his identity. Every victory came with pain, every honor carried loss. Yet Karna never gave up. He embraced his struggles as teachers, his pain as strength, and his curses as reminders of the fleeting nature of life. Through every storm, he remained calm, brave, and true to himself. These curses were not punishments. They were destiny's chains, shaping the path of a man who deserved a better life but received a harder one. Yet Karna never complained. He never blamed anyone. He fought every challenge with courage, every injustice with discipline, and every curse with dignity. Because Karna's greatness was not in avoiding suffering. It was in rising above it. Karna meets Krishna, the truth that broke his heart. The drums of Kurukshetra were ready to thunder. War was only days away. And in the middle of this rising storm, Krishna walked quietly to meet one man. A man whose destiny was heavier than mountains. Karna. Karna bowed respectfully. Krishna looked at him with deep compassion and said, "Karna, I have come to tell you the truth of your birth." Karna's eyes narrowed. "What truth?" he asked softly. Krishna replied, "You are not Radha's son. You are Kunti's firstborn. You are the eldest Pandava. You are the brother of Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva." Karna felt the world stop. His breath froze. His heart trembled. All his life he had been insulted as a Sutputra, a charioteer's son. And now the Lord himself told him. He was actually a prince. A Pandava. Arjuna's elder brother. Karna looked at Krishna, eyes filled with pain. Why did my mother abandon me? Why did I grow up struggling for respect? Why did I live a life of shame? When I was born for honor. Krishna gently placed a hand on his shoulder. Karna, your mother was young, afraid, and alone. Her mistake was not your fault. But your greatness. That is your own. Tears burned in Karna's eyes. Krishna continued. Come with me, Karna. Join the Pandavas. You are the eldest. You deserve the throne. The war can end if you take your rightful place. For a moment, time itself waited for Karna's answer. Karna closed his eyes. In his mind he saw Radha, who raised him with love. Adhiratha, who gave him a father's pride. Duryodhana, who gave him respect when the world insulted him. And friendship stronger than blood. Karna slowly shook his head. Krishna. A mother abandoned me. But a friend accepted me. I cannot betray Duryodhana. Even if Dharma is not on his side. Loyalty is on mine. Krishna's eyes softened with sorrow. Karna. Your heart is noble. But the path you choose will lead to your death. Karna smiled gently. Then let the world say. Karna lived with honor. Krishna turned to leave but paused and said. In this war, you will fall by Arjuna's hand. But know this. In every lifetime after this, you will be remembered as the most generous, the most loyal, the most tragic hero of all. Karna stood alone as Krishna walked away. The truth of his birth burning in his heart like fire. He was a Pandava by blood, a Kaurava by choice, and a legend by destiny. The sun rose on the 17th day of Kurukshetra. The day the world would witness a battle carved into eternity. The air was heavy, the sky silent, as if even nature waited for what was about to happen. On one side stood Arjuna, guided by Krishna, carrying the weight of Dharma. On the other side stood Karna, armed with loyalty, unmatched courage, and the mighty Vijaya bow, a gift from Lord Indra himself. Both warriors knew the truth now. One was a brother by blood. The other a rival shaped by destiny. But on this battlefield, only duty remained. The conch shells blew. The earth shook. And the greatest duel in human history began. Arjuna released arrows like lightning, filling the sky with shining streaks of fire. Karna answered with storms of flame, each arrow roaring like thunder. Their weapons clashed in midair, bursting into sparks that blinded even the gods watching from above. Karna struck Arjuna with the Shakti Astra, a weapon that could kill any warrior. But destiny had already taken its price. He had used it earlier on Gatotkacha. Now it was gone forever. Arjuna shot divine arrows taught by Drona and blessed by Shiva. Karna countered with celestial weapons learned from Parashurama, his movements sharp, fearless, and full of pride. The world watched. Two warriors equal in skill, equal in might. Fighting not just to win, but to prove the meaning of their lives. Every strike carried a story. Every arrow a memory. For Arjuna it was dharma. For Karna it was dignity. For the world it was a battle that would live forever. And as the day went on, the dust rose like clouds of fate. The sky echoed with cries of heroes. And every heartbeat seemed to count the seconds of history. Karna's eyes never left Arjuna. His mind never left loyalty. His soul never left honor. Even in the shadow of death his spirit shone brighter than the sun, the curses come alive. Then destiny tightened its chains. The wheel of Karna's chariot, cursed by the earth goddess, sank into the ground. His knowledge of divine weapons, cursed by Parashurama, slipped from his memory. His strength, cursed by the Brahmin whose cow he accidentally killed, began to fade. Karna knew it. He felt it. But he did not step back. With sweat and blood on his face, he shouted to Arjuna, "Fight me like a warrior. Do not use Krishna's tricks." Arjuna pulled his bowstring. Krishna remained silent. He knew this moment was written long before war began. Karna struggled to lift the wheel. He begged Arjuna for a moment of fairness. "Arjuna, grant me a warrior's honor." Arjuna hesitated. His hands trembled. But Krishna whispered, "Remember Draupadi's humiliation. Remember Abhimanyu. This is the moment of justice." Karna stood helpless, unarmed yet fearless. Even in his worst moment, he looked like a lion refusing to bow. Arjuna closed his eyes. A tear escaped. But duty was heavier than emotion. He released the arrow. It pierced Karna's chest like lightning splitting a mountain. Karna fell to the ground, still holding the chariot wheel, as if refusing to give up even in death. The battlefield fell silent. A hero had fallen. Not defeated by Arjuna. Not defeated by weapons. But defeated by fate itself. As Karna breathed his last, Krishna looked toward his fallen body and whispered, "Among all warriors, none was greater in generosity. Among all heroes, none was greater in loyalty. Among all men, none was greater in spirit than Karna." That day the sun itself dimmed, as if the universe mourned the warrior, who deserved a kingdom, but lived a life of suffering, who fought for a friend, but died with the truth of his birth hidden in his heart. Karna did not lose. He transcended. He became immortal. The war roared on, but for a moment the battlefield stood still. Karna, the warrior born from Surya himself, lay on the earth, his armor shattered, his breath fading. But even in death he looked radiant, as if the sun itself refused to leave his face. No cries, no drums, no victory shouts. Just silence. A silence heavy enough to break a kingdom. When Karna's soul left his body, a light brighter than dawn rose above Kurukshetra. Krishna appeared calm, compassionate, divine. Karna looked at him and smiled gently. "I fought my entire life for a place. Tell me, Krishna, who was I?" Krishna walked closer and said, "You were never Radhaya alone. You were never a charioteer's son. You were the firstborn prince of Kunti. You were the eldest Pandava." Tears formed in Karna's eyes. Not of sadness, but of completion. A life full of pain finally received its truth. As Karna rose from the earth, his divine earrings and armor, the Kavach and Kundal, returned to him. His body glowed like molten gold. The curse of Parashurama lifted. The weight of humiliation dissolved. Surya, the sun god, descended in a chariot of light. "Come home, my son," he said. For the first time in his life, Karna felt what it meant to belong. He stepped into the golden chariot, his scars turning into rays of brilliance. The heavens thundered not in war, but in celebration. Birds sang, rivers sparkled, and the winds carried his name. Even the mountains seemed to bow in respect, for the world had finally seen the truth. That Karna's life, though filled with trials, was a story of courage, loyalty, and unmatched honor. The world learns the truth. Days later, when the war ended, Kunti revealed the truth to the Pandavas. Yudhishthira, heartbroken, whispered, "We fought our own brother." Arjuna collapsed to his knees. Bhima's roar fell silent. The world suddenly understood the tragedy of Karna's life. A hero punished for a sin he never committed. His birth. From that day Yudhishthira vowed, "No king in my kingdom will suffer as Karna suffered. No mother will hide her child's truth." Karna had become a lesson, not of victory or defeat, but of humanity. Karna's life teaches us, being born low does not make you small. Loyalty can be greater than blood. Generosity is the highest form of strength. And true warriors fight even when destiny is unfair. He lost the battle, but he won immortality. Even after death, his story inspires millions. People remember him not for his palace or riches, but for his courage, honesty, and heart. He faced rejection, betrayal, and harsh truths. Yet he never gave up or complained. He chose honor over comfort, and integrity over fear. Today, he lives not in palaces or temples, but in hearts. Whenever someone stands strong despite struggle, whenever someone chooses loyalty over fear, whenever someone gives even in pain, Karna rises again. And dear viewers, this was the inspiring journey of Karna, a warrior of courage, loyalty, and unbroken dignity. You are watching the English Journey. Tell us in the comments, whose story would you like to hear next? Your wish becomes our next legend.